So over the period of the last, I don't know, a year or so, I've posted quite a lot of skill builds revolving around Seeker Mines. And the reason for that is that I absolutely love Seeker Mines. I think it's the funniest skill to use in the entire game. And it's one of the reasons that I actually keep playing the game, because whenever I don't feel like playing or I think that the game gets, too repetitive, I put on my Seeker Mine builds and then I'm having a blast again. So yesterday, I was very surprised when I was playing with a friend and I asked him if he wanted to check out the build that I was playing with, which is the one in your screens right now, because he was actually kind of surprised with how many Seeker Mines I was running with. And I was like, he told me that he wanted to see the build, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna send you the link to my video to go and check it out. And then I went on my channel and I tried to find the build video and I wasn't able to find it. I have hardwire builds, I have full skill builds, I have hybrid skill builds revolving around Seeker Mines, but this build over here, I've never actually made a video about it, and it's by far my favorite one. And the simple for it being my favorite skill build, my favorite Seeker Mine build, is that even though I'm losing efficiency with some of my choices, as you will see later on in the video, I'm 100% invested into having my Seeker Mines up and running as fast and as often as possible. So even though I know that I'm sacrificing, let's say, some skill damage, right? I don't really care, because the purpose of this is to have my Seeker Mines up and running as fast as possible, right? So what we have here, and I'm gonna point out those weird decisions that I've made about this build as we go in the video, but let's start off. So of course we're running the capacitor, the best weapon when you're running a skill build. 60% extra skill damage when we have full stacks, and we also have higher weapon damage because of its talent. I'm not gonna get into it. Moving on, we have 100 UPs for the 10% skill haste with skill damage, attributes, and skill haste. We then have a China Light Industry piece for the 15% explosive damage. Again, skill damage and skill haste are the attributes of my choice. Moving on to the mask, we have an Empress International. I'm gonna get into why I'm running with 3 Empress International later and why I'm not going with, I don't know, let's say 2 Grupo Sombra for the extra 15% explosive damage and 1 Wyvern piece for the 10% skill damage. But as you can see here, the mask has skill damage, skill haste again. The gloves are the BT-ASU data gloves, the exotic ones, for the very simple reason that I can detonate my hive, and by doing that I get overcharged for 50 seconds, which pretty much will reset my cooldown on the Seeker Mines. So if everything else has failed, if I need my Seeker Mines and I don't have them at this very moment, I drop the hive right next to me, I detonate it, and I say I'll drop the hive right next to me and not on top of the enemies, because if I throw it on the top of the enemies and I don't have many charges, there's a very good chance that the charges will go off before I have the chance to detonate it, and I'm not gonna get the overcharge. BDSU data gloves, I love it. Skill haste, repair skills, whatever, we cannot change it. And also by detonating the hive and getting overcharged, I will have my hive up and ready with max charges in just a couple of seconds, maybe 5-6 seconds, because we're having overcharge and the cooldown on it is super low. And now we get into the weird part. As you can see, I'm running Caesar's Guard, the chest piece, which is again the named Empress International chest piece, which has perfectly skilled, which has a 30% chance to reset my skill cooldowns every time I take a skill kill, right? And the weird decision that I've made is at the same time as running perfectly skilled, I'm running perfectly calculated. Kills from cover reduce skill downs by 15%. Now, a lot of players would comment here, you know what, it would be better to choose one of those 2 talents and replace the other one with a talent that will increase your damage, and they would be right. That would be a very good decision to make. However, as I told you, the whole purpose of this build, the whole mindset behind this build when I was crafting it and while I'm playing with it, it's not efficiency, it's not high damage numbers, is spamming my Seeker Mines as often as possible. So we're running the perfectly skilled because we have a pretty good chance that we will reset our mines, but in case we don't reset our mines, we're running the fucking perfectly calculated talent, which reduces the skill cooldowns by 15% every time we take a kill from cover. Now, be very careful here. The kills here apply to both skill builds, skill kills, and weapon kills. So if my perfectly skilled doesn't proc, if I don't reset my cooldown, so I go behind cover, I throw my hive, so I keep getting those kills, hoping that the perfectly skilled will proc. But in the meantime, if it doesn't proc, I'm using perfectly calculated, which pretty much needs 4-5 kills at max, and you will get your Seeker Mines back. On the chest piece and on the backpack, again, we have skill haste, skill damage. The Empress International gives us the 10% skill damage as the second bonus and the 10% skill efficiency, which is pretty great as the third bonus. If we go to the specialization, of course, I'm going with Demolitionist for the 10% increased explosive damage, which applies to our Seeker Mines. And that's pretty much it. As you can see on our mines, we have a 19-second cooldown, which is pretty low. So even if the perfectly skilled fails and we don't reset our cooldown, even if we're not able to take kills, even if we cannot destroy our hive because our BTSU gloves are on a cooldown, we can just chill for a couple of seconds behind cover. 90 seconds is a pretty good cooldown, and we will get our mines quite fast, even if everything else fails. Moving on to the Stinger Hive, we have another really fun skill. In my opinion, it's not as fun as the Seeker Mines, of course, but still a pretty decent one. And because we want to use it for the BDSU, we don't have another choice, honestly, but still, it's something that I really enjoy using. So yeah, I will have some gameplay in the background for you. Let me know down below in the comment section your thoughts. As I told you, I don't think that this is the best Seeker Mine build to go with in any way, shape or form. However, the way I had this build on my mind and the way it turned out to be in the actual game, in the field, how it actually performs, is very close to what I was looking for and what I was expecting. The main purpose of this is not to kill things fast, it's not to be efficient, it's all about spamming Seeker Mines as often and as fast as possible without running a hardwire build. That's very important. Hardwire builds are great, I've made videos about them. However, I want to go without a hardwire build, because even though you get the same and maybe even better results with a hardwire build, you don't have the RNG factor in the gameplay, so to say. You don't know if your perfectly skilled will proc. That's what makes this whole thing exciting for me, because when I reset my cooldowns, because perfectly skilled proc, I get a dopamine hit. Like, hardwire doesn't do that for me. So this is all about, you know, having fun, having RNG, seeing if it pays out, if it doesn't pay out, and things like that. Anyways, thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope that you found the video helpful and enjoyable. If you did, and if you want to support me, please make sure to drop a like and to subscribe. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Bye bye.